when I've been asked to go talk to someone, been asked to go speak to an organization, have had reluctant moments where I didn't want to be there. I just didn't want to do it. I was born with some birth defects. I'm a high-functioning congenital triple amputee, which means that I have the 2 artificial arms and an artificial leg. Grew up a very normal childhood in Phoenix, going to public schools. My parents mainstreamed me and with the attitude that I'm no different than anybody else. We rode horses on the desert around here in Phoenix. Later on, my friends in my teenage years participated in junior rodeos, and I figured, I can ride a horse, I can swing a rope. So I got into team roping. Been team roping off and on for about 36 years with some of the big boys and girls of the world in competing in events. Out of high school, I became a landscaper. I was a laborer for about 9 years, and then I got into supervision when I really decided that I did not want to run a weed eater or push a hand mower the rest of my life. I did a lot of advocate work for amputees, talking to people that lost their legs or their arms in accidents, veterans, and say, look, I don't know what it's like to grieve to losing a limb, but I will help you on how to get reestablished in your new life, your new normal, being an amputee. I had a friend down in Texas that was an advocate for the disabled, and he had known a person that used to be a team roper, and he had been electrocuted and lost his arms. Felt that he was not going to be able to participate in any way, shape, or form. So I gathered up 1 or 2 of my good ropes and got on a plane, met my friend in Houston, drove out to his house, and we actually saddled a couple of his brother-in-law's horses. Just showed to this gentleman that, with a little time and perseverance, you can go back and have somewhat of your past lifestyle, maybe showing other people that you can continue without having your life over just because you had a stumbling block in the road.
Well, a man who was born with no hands and only 1 leg helped save his family from a fire that was burning in their house in Arizona. Now, Boyd Smith is fighting for his life. He's in the hospital with burns on 90% of his body. He's the one who woke up everyone in the house, his wife, his daughter, his 3 young grandchildren. He helped them escape, and he even saved the horses and the family dog, too. But when he went back in the house for one last check, that's when he got stuck inside, and his stepdaughter managed to pull him out.
As they were loading me in the ambulance, that's the last thing I remembered. And they took me in and started cleaning up my body and kept me in a medically induced coma for 3.5, 4 months. The doctors and the social workers said that, your husband's 90% burned. People of this caliber of burn usually don't make it. Their body just shuts down. Spent 8.5 or 9 months in the hospital. I'm 2 years out of the hospital now, still going through rehabilitation, therapy, and some corrective surgeries. When I go to the burn unit now, this is aftercare, whether it be homebound therapy or going to the burn unit where they're checking your grafts, checking your scars, looking out down the road, am I going to have additional surgery? I'm surrounded by a lot of positive people. I'm surrounded by a lot of Christian people that work there, people that believe in you. These people have become part of my extended family. I've had nurses come in the middle of the night and said, Boyd, how do you be so strong? And I say, it's not me, it's God. God has filled me with strength. I really think God's just showing me that you need to share with people that no matter what your crisis is in life, you will get through this if you let God help you. I've never woke up one day being depressed, discouraged, or angry at God for being burned. God has left me with the understanding that this is just one more step in my life. And in our society, physical appearance is huge. What I've tried to do is, even with my birth defects or even with my burns, I try to present myself as decent as I can so God would be proud of my example, but not sit there and hide behind my physical appearance, but to be proud of what I have and what God has blessed me with. We're at the point now that my wife and I are really realizing it is our point that we help other people out that might be going through difficult times. So we'll turn around and then go back into the Arizona Burn Center to where we can help minister to people who might have a need, or a family member, or a patient themselves. I think it's very important to be quiet and listen to what God has to say to you. And I know God has spoke to me many times while I was in the hospital. and redirected my life from where I was to where He wants me to be.